We are here. And it is time. We're going to call to order the regular meeting of April 9th, 2013 of the Stillwater Economic Development Authority. First item on the agenda is the consent docket approval of minutes from February 12th, 2013. Is there a motion on the consent docket?
I would move approval. Second.
Motion second on the consent docket. Councilor Scott. Trustee Scott.
Second by Trustee Hopkins.
Wait, I guess we're not.
My voice failed me.
Are we roll
Oh,
calling?
I'm sorry, we're not.
Yes,
We're,
we don't have
okay, sorry.
Okay. Okay. Trustee Weaver.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Yes.
Chair Barley says yes. Okay, takes us into general orders. Item A, economic development update from the Chamber Economic Development Director.
Yeah, we've asked Eric Miller to come to the meeting today. As you all know, we contract with the Chamber for economic development services. This is an opportunity, first opportunity for Mr. Miller to appear before the our Economic Development Authority. Welcome, Eric, very much, and please come to the podium, and it's yours.
Good morning, trustees. My pleasure to appear before you this morning. As you all know, I've been here since February 4th, so it's 2 months into my tenure at the Chamber, and it's been quite an active period of time. Just from a prospect activity standpoint, we have 8 active prospects, and I'm just going to run through a quick summary of each of the projects to the extent that I can, and I'll refer to them by project name, not company name, for obvious reasons. Project license, and some of these may be familiar to you as I describe some of the characteristics, but project license is a public sector service facility seeking space in Stillwater with a desire to maintain its current operations in Stillwater. They've identified some properties here in concert with the city, and so that process is ongoing. Project Daniel is another services-related company seeking office space here in Stillwater. It's actually going to be visiting this week, so I'll have some more definitive information about that project at the end of this week. Project Roadster is a manufacturing and services-related company. This prospect has identified several buildings in the Stillwater area. They, in fact, visited last Friday. We visited several buildings, are down to 2, and should be visiting the area again within 30 days with senior executives from the company to make some sort of definitive determination about where in Stillwater they want to locate. Project Upstream is an energy-related manufacturing and distribution company, 30 jobs at full ramp-up, which is a 3 to 5 year timeline. The average wages would be about $85,000. Prospect is considering an existing building. They focus on a building here in Stillwater. The state has generated an incentive proposal to the company for them to consider. I'm also awaiting additional information from the company as to other outstanding issues related to making a decision to locate here in Stillwater, so that I can then determine what local, state, and federal resources we can bring to bear to resolve those issues, if we can. Project XOA represents a corporate headquarters, production, and distribution facility in the healthcare industry. It represents up to 95 jobs at an average wage of $73,000 a year. This particular industry prospect was looking for an existing building as well as build-to-suit options, so we submitted both scenarios and we're waiting to hear back. This was a project that we received from ODOC, Oklahoma Department of Commerce. Project Green Valve is as the name might suggest, a valve manufacturing company. They're looking to create 120 jobs with an average wage of $44,000 a year. They anticipate a capital investment of $6 million. This is another build-to-suit opportunity for us. Many of the build-to-suit opportunities are really a godsend for us because primarily they're all looking for existing facilities, and we quite frankly just don't have an inventory of existing buildings that meet the project parameters. Project Chill is a food manufacturing firm considering relocating to our area from California. The company currently employs over 150 people. This will be another build-to-suit situation, 70,000 square feet. They were initially looking for an existing building in that range with an existing chill capacity refrigerator, freezer, and I mean those are scarce throughout the country, much less here. So that the build-to-suit is our best opportunity. Project Snow is another healthcare-related company. It's a Fortune 100 company. They're looking to consolidate their HR and benefit services in a central area in 1 or 2 buildings. And so we are submitting on that opportunity as well. From an inactive or closed project standpoint, we had Project Pluto. Project Pluto is a biomass to gasoline project. Simply put, the area couldn't support the raw materials supply needed for the project, the utilities infrastructure needed for the project, or the geographic parameters identified by the project, and so we declined to pursue that opportunity. Project Santa Ana is another medical equipment supply company. They were looking for an existing facility located within 5 miles of Interstate 35, 44, or 240, so obviously we declined to participate in that one. When I came here, I also assumed some activity that was also already undergoing at the Chamber. 5 energy-related companies, 3 were looking for sites, the other 2 had already located here, and we were looking just to get a handle on what their presence in the community really meant. The 3 energy companies that were looking here, we couldn't accommodate either from a geographic standpoint or a utility standpoint, or quite frankly, they may not have been desirable in the community just based on truck volume and other things. And so we didn't secure those opportunities. From an existing industry standpoint, as you know, ASCO representatives will be in the community April 4th through 12th. There's a meeting, presentation subsequent to mine, so I won't discuss that too much. Existing industry visits have now been resumed in the community. I've visited with 2 industries so far. They're pleased to know that the Chamber is once again engaged in an existing industry relationship, if you will, in a proactive way. As an outgrowth of one of those meetings, I learned that there was an expansion underway in one of these companies, and so I've assisted the company now in obtaining a state incentive proposal based on a $10 million expansion. No new jobs, just strictly machinery and equipment for the company. Also, as an outgrowth of the existing industry visits, there was some discussion about the resurrection, if you will, of the Stillwater Area Manufacturers Council, basically a manufacturers council. And as a result of those conversations, in conjunction with Meridian and ODOC and the Manufacturers Extension Alliance, I'm pleased to say that we will be resuming that program. It'll be industry-led Manufacturers Council. The first meeting will be in May, and there'll be quarterly meetings, and that's about all that I'm at liberty to tell you right now because that's all I know about it. I'd also like to note that the Chamber has received 1 significant lead from the city. It's a project that is ongoing. It looks very viable. The Chamber, in turn, has made 4 leads, referred 4 leads to the city as well. And so the lines of communication between the city and the Chamber in terms of collaboration on projects is extremely strong. In terms of conferences and professional development opportunities that I've attended or pursued, the 2013 Innovation-Based Economic Development Forum in Lawton, Oklahoma. It was centered on the theme of innovation and collaboration, really geared towards Southwest Oklahoma, but many other themes, concepts are transcendental to geography, so they were all relevant. Of keen interest to me in attending was the fact that Dr. Stephen McKeever was one of the featured presenters at the conference, speaking about the UAS, the emergence of UAS technology from a commercial standpoint and its impact in America in the future, and also obviously for Stillwater, and talking about various elements of the educational process from primary, secondary through colleges and post-college, STEM education, innovation enablers, which are venture capitalists who may participate in commercializing research and development into functioning commercial operations. It was a very good conference, very enlightening for me. I also attended a conference in Charleston, South Carolina called the Industrial Asset Management Council. The Industrial Asset Management Council is a national organization that's comprised of senior real estate executives in Fortune 5, 3, and 100 companies in the country. It's designed to foster interaction without the pressure of selling from an economic development standpoint. And so this conference afforded me, for example, the opportunity to sit down with the representative from Northrop Grumman that deals with UAS technology, representative from Rolls-Royce Aerospace, who once again deals in aerospace, engines, et cetera. It's a 600-member organization with a 1.5-year waiting list for people to get in. It's that type of environment, that quality of corporate executive that you have the opportunity to interact with in a very low-key, non-pressure environment. It's really all about building relationships that may lead to some opportunities down the road. Lastly, I attended the Oklahoma Unmanned Aerial Systems Summit in Norman, Oklahoma last week, and as the title suggests, it was a one-day conference centered around, well, this was actually 2 weeks ago, centered around the promulgation and utilization, the development of UAS technology and its impact in the state of Oklahoma and specifically in Stillwater. And that's my report. Any questions?
Any questions?
Two things. I'm glad to hear about the Manufacturers Council getting spun back up. I think that could be a very valuable entity for us, and I would encourage you, as you get that going and they begin their conversations, be active about getting us feedback. We want to hear what their issues are, what their challenges are, and how we can be supportive. So don't miss that opportunity to keep us informed.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I don't have anything. No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric.
I did have one of, you mentioned several times a lack of inventory to work with to try to recruit, and I'm not asking it for it today, but at some point, you know, after you've had some more time with your feet on the ground to analyze Stillwater, I think it would be good for the council to hear what's the sweet spot, what would be the kind of inventory that it would be strategic for us to have available in order to market Stillwater. Might not be able to do anything about it, but it'd be great to hear that.
A cursory response now and more detail to follow. I would say to you that from what is referred to as development-ready sites, that is sites that are graded, infrastructure at the site, we're limited. And also, and this is not a problem that's endemic to Stillwater, just there's a paucity of existing building inventory really nationwide, but certainly I hear about it a lot when I go to the Oklahoma City partnership meetings throughout the state. There really are an inadequate supply of existing buildings at a certain square footage that are ready to go when prospects come looking. And I'm glad to dig down into that deeper for you, but just at the surface level, that's the issue. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate the report, Mr. Miller, and I want to also say I appreciate Mr. Miller and Ms. McLaughlin have developed a really great working relationship, and they've made some references where we sometimes pick up some leads that they're able to transfer and support each other, and I think it's giving us an assurance that any prospects are being covered by the coordination, so that's really good. And the issue of the inventory is something that's a problem with the industrial side, but it's also a problem with the retail expansion side. We have a lot of clients who want existing spaces to move into. They're limited. Some are looking for build-to-suit, but it's quite a problem getting that inventory nailed down. But we're working with that on both, and I think it's a major goal that we need to be in touch with. Okay.
Okay. Next on our agenda is the business update from Osco Aerospace. Mr. Navarcall,
I'd like to ask,
starting it off?
yeah, CEO, Ms. Navarcall, would you like to introduce them, please?
Council Mayor, thank you so much for allowing ASCO to come in today and present to you just an update of where they are with their facility. I'm just going to introduce quickly who's over here, and then I think Trudeau is going to be presenting. Is that okay, Jean-Pierre? So I'll start over here. They have a new hire that is on, and I just met him just now, but it's Yves Simons. I'm saying it right, yes. And he will kind of be their front person for the facility here. Next, you guys have all met, I believe, is Don Carlisle, who is on their strategic planning board. Trudeau Mottmans, who's the vice chairman for ASCO. And then finally, Jean-Pierre Hillian, who is over the facility here in Stillwater. So Jean-Pierre, I'll ask you to come forward. Thank you guys for having them in today.
Oh, no.
Can I do that?
We usually don't do outside laptops.
Oh, okay.
Do you have it on a thumb drive or?
No, not really. Let's see if I have something.
Oh, what, they have a presentation? They wouldn't show us.
Should we take a 5-minute recess then?
Yeah, do they have a presentation they want to show? We may want to take a few minutes recess. I didn't realize they were.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute recess while we get the presentation set up.
Thank you.
why we require counseling when people bring it in a couple days
We can
before.
drop it on a thumb drive real quick.
I say, I looked in my bag, I don't have one, I thought
I have an extra thumb drive.
We will get them fixed up.
I'll send them lunch. Assuming we visit with lunch.
Dus we gaan gewoon naar meteen naar die, ja. Oké.
We're gonna do the thumb drive.
Great to see you again. How's everything?
There he is. Put a little sign out that says we're on recess. Apparently no one bothered to do that.
And then we should be able to.
Do you want to just save it and then we can load it?
Okay.
I'll leave the
It is brand new
technology up.
fresh out, so I promise there's nothing on it.
I'm not touching
Okay.
I just still trying to figure out how to work this chair, so.
I
Get away
think
from
that
it.
it's
Get-
down
you know,
here.
It was where I could just about do anything on my computer, and now then I've been away from it for so long. All that stuff doesn't come back to me easily. Still
I
read.
think this is it.
Sometimes I can even get my television.
You're welcome.
I don't text, I get the
See
wrong
what it
message.
says.
I'll take a few moments. Is that it right there?
That should be it. Okay.
John, I got about 3 feet of water in
I
my
get
pond.
this.
That's good.
How do they see this?
Now,
Lot more
It'll be up
Ah,
there, yeah.
Okay, and where
If we
does
get a good hard
the
rain
click
tonight,
do?
that'll
can
help you a bunch.
do left and right.
Yeah,
Because the
okay.
ground's already getting saturated, it's not saturated.
Okay.
We're noticing.
Yes.
When he gets
Had
upstairs,
one actually
he'll-
fill up. Of course, it was silted in too.
Oh, you're the one upstairs. Oh.
Yeah, I cleaned mine. If I had the old pond, it would have been a lot more. But I probably added 4 feet of space to it,
It's good.
raise the dam.
We've seen that.
I'm gonna
And
raise
the
the
update
field
of the
a little
last
more
ones.
too, But I'm waiting to get some
Ask
rock in.
them to work it out.
We've lost a little chunk out of one of ours. We can't figure out why it gave like it did, other than it just dried out.
Still, evidently it cracked on you and water got in it. Are you pretty clay? You around the
It's heavy clay. It's probably 67% clay soil.
Yeah. But see, it cracks so bad, and you get down in there, clay will wash easily.
And it doesn't matter how much rock we put in there. And these were all SCS ponds. I mean, these are good ones. We were kind of surprised.
I think we're ready to go.
So I'm gonna raise it and put the rock in and sod it real good.
Yeah.
Okay, we will return from our short recess and ready for the presentation.
Thank you very much. So my name is Jean-Pierre Hielen. I'm the plant director here at the ESCO aerospace facility here in Stillwater, giving you a short update on where we are with the program, with the project. I have a few slides for you. I don't think we have to explain you who the ESCO group is, so I'll skip that. And our mission as well, as you know, I'd like to say a little bit about this. So we're going to do steel, aluminum, and titanium. Our project now focuses on doing steel and aluminum. That's the biggest phase. Titanium will come later, although we are already installing and preparing the facility for titanium machines. But in the beginning, this will be our first focus. As well as that, we want to make a one-stop shop out of this, so we want to bring material in, process that through machining, do all the treatments, and give a final product to our customer, Boeing. So this is the concept, what we're wanting to do. These are the type of parts, the tracks, that's steel. We're going to do about 2,000 a month of those tracks for the different type of aircraft, 737, 777, 787. So there's a quite variety of different tracks. A lot of machining, a lot of treatments on those, special processes as well, like high velocity oxygen flaming, TICA treatments, and things like that. Others are frames, large frames that hold basically the fin of the 787. We're producing those in Canada, and all that production will come with a new type of frame into the Stillwater facility. So that's the aluminum part that we are preparing. That's a picture of the 787 where you see those large frames. I like to show them because they're quite some frames. If you see them later, and you know there are 4 of those that hold the fin. It's quite impressive. So we want to make sure that our quality is going to be well. Anyway, on our startup, we are now gearing up to do some assembly on the 737. There are carriages that hold part of the flap on the 737 aircraft that we produce and assemble in Brussels. We are transferring the production of the assembly part as soon as possible to Stillwater. We want to do that. We want to start as from Q3. It's a limited activity, but the aim is to get our quality certifications already going, to make sure that we have our logistics system set up so that we are basically preparing the company to hold these kind of aspects. So it's not full production, it's a small production, and just to tease all the systems to make sure that we are up and running and tweak our procedures. Then we move into the steel machining. Our startup target is still the same, the beginning of 2014. We are now in the process, and I'll go in detail a little bit later on in the following slide, on what are we processing, but we will be in 2014, Q2 2014, starting production on the tracks. That's our target. The qualifications and the certifications for our special processes will take, at this moment, a little bit longer than we expected. That's because we've been coordinating with Boeing Company, and they need their time as well. They have their works to be done, so they're kind of giving us almost six to 9 months before they are up and ready with us. So we've calculated this change into our planning. And our aim is to be at full rate by the end of 2014. And 2015 means then that we're full autonomous on those parts. This means that the other facilities in Vancouver and in Brussels would have shut down this activity, and everything would have been transferred to ASCO, including everything on treatment. And that means that we're transferring work that are done by treatment houses now into Stillwater as well. For the aluminum, our planning remains with the startup in the middle of 2014. Machines have been ordered already a couple of months ago. They require 17 months to be installed. By the end of this year, we will start testing in Germany. Those are German machines. We'll be testing one type of setup in our German plant, and then doing some further testing at the plant of the supplier, and then moving by mid-2014 into Stillwater. We hope to be up and running very quickly there, and also the remaining target is to be at full rate by the end of 2014. And that means that we will take the whole 787 production out of our Vancouver plant. This is a detailed planning. There's some colors, we keep working that. That's just a copy of our overview, helicopter overview that we took this morning. As you will see here in this area, this is the machining area. This is the machining project. You'll see the machining project very much to be on the planning. We have some movement here because of the certification with Boeing that takes just a lot of time. That is moving more a little to the right. And the aluminum line is still on schedule for a mid-2014 departure into production. Some view on the facilities. It's not a great view. It's not very sharp. But as you know, the facility, there are three zones of production. The first zone more to the south will be our steel zone with our steel machines, with all the treatment, furnaces, all the surface treatment, painting and assembly area in this area. This will be the biggest activity at this moment in time. That's really, the steel is very large. It's very high volume, 2,000 parts a month. It's quite a challenge to get this up and running. Should also be a very lean exercise, the one-piece flow exercise, so it's certainly a very good challenge here. The middle section, you will see the machines on the aluminum side that we bought. Those are very, very large machines. They will, so each block here is about 40 feet, so those are, kind of 60 feet long machines. They will be positioned in an FMS system, and that means that we just load a part onto a system, and then the system brings it into the machine and takes care of it themselves. It's a kind of an automated system. It goes through treatment, chemical treatment, and shot peen treatment assembly as well in this area. These are the planned extensions. And here we install the titanium machine. We're presently breaking the ground there. We are presently preparing the facility as well in that direction. So, for example, we are removing all the former test areas. So we're into the demolition phase internally. We're removing all the equipment we don't need at the moment in the facility. That will go on for the next month. By that time, we'll start refreshing the facility from the inside. It means that all the painting will start, all the all the works that we require in order to kind of start positioning our machines. This next phase, when that we're done, when we have, let's say, the general facility in a good shape, we'll start digging the different foundations. Sometimes this goes simultaneously, depends a little bit on the timing. For example, here on the titanium machine, we're already digging into the ground because we need a huge foundation to be placed. So that's a foundation of about 200 feet long for one machine, one solid big unit. So that needs some time. And of course, these foundations need to dry as well before we put up to a machine. So that machine will be installed starting in July, and that will take until the end of the year before it's completely installed. That's about from the technical side. From the human aspect side, we're still looking for a lot of people. We're actively pursuing in the newspapers and on the internet, looking for people. We are now still working on our core team. This means engineers for machining, for treatment. Those are certainly are for us very much in demand. The more that we move into the production area, where we move to the right, we'll see more and more production people coming in that we're looking for. We're preparing that on supervisors, because those will be the people that will start doing the first initial testing as well. Some part of the testing, concept testing, we'll do in Belgium. We hope to get some test machines in by the September period. This will allow us to do some actual testing here at the facility on the machines that we purchased. This will allow us to prepare. Meanwhile, these people will be added, will be trained in Belgium. They have knowledge about then the different parts. They'll join the team here in Stillwater and will allow us to increase further our capabilities. That's about, I think, the general overview that I wanted to give to you. Any questions from your side?
Does anybody have any questions? No, we don't. Thank you very much for the update. I'm very impressed. I think I can speak for the authority here that very impressed, and we are very, very happy that you guys are here and the work you're putting in and what you're going to be producing. So we're very pleased. Thank you.
We're very excited about this as well. So
I might only ask, just out of my own curiosity, the big titanium machine, is it just going to come in off of a truck and assemble together, or is it like from the ground up?
No, they already here. So they came with several trucks came here. So it takes about, well, the machine is in several segments. It's let's say the bays are 8 huge segments. Oops. They can all half segment is almost a truck. So they've come from California. They are already in the facility. We have to put these big segments somewhere on a block, so we're working on this foundation. So once we get this block then installed, then the top of the machine is getting installed.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's some reconditioning that we need to do on those machines as well, so that goes in parallel with this work, with this installation work. And yeah, it will be an exciting phase once we get the big blocks on there and we put the power on and see if everything fits. Now, the most amazing will be because there's you need over 200 foot, you need about this alignment on the table. So that's going to be very exciting as well.
Very precise, very precise.
Impressive.
You can tell from listening to you that you're having some fun with this, aren't you?
Fun, but also work, I can tell you.
Lots of work.
But it's exciting, and it allows us to, go through all the steps and rethinking everything we're doing again and trying to, within the time and the possibilities to improve it, make it better, because we want to make sure that we have a very successful company here. And, putting all this together, it's certainly exciting.
Noticed in the paper that Meridian is beginning to train some production work or whatever kind of workers.
Yes, they've started a new program. They had a phase 1 and a phase 2 machining program. Now they've changed a little bit the program. There's another alternative also. They are doing some introduction training as well that are not only applicable for us but also for any other company. So we're working on a regular basis with Meridian. We're seeing them every time that I'm in the country. We have a meeting to see what needs to be done, what we have to provide, what we have to interface with them, because it's from our side not always easy to explain what we want, and from them it's not always easy to understand what we want. Sure. So it's something that we have to work together on that. It's something that will take time, but it will take effort, and something that we need to do, yes.
The curriculum is pretty unique then to your operations.
Well, I think on the machining side, machining, you could consider general machining, and we'll make that fit. But once we go into treatments, that'll be 50% of our activity is the treatment. And the added value, a lot of the added value is also in that area. So it's quite unique to develop that, and it takes effort to develop that, and it's not that easy. And it's a special process. That means that you cannot control the quality at the end. You have to do that in between, and it's the process that makes the quality. And you can only see that the quality is bad if the paint strips in 10 years from now. So that's not what we want to have.
Since my background is training, is that if it's unique to the machinery, we probably Meridian will come and help you and assist you out in the plant, in the training? On some of the equipment, that might be best because they will not have that type of equipment available. On some of the others, it's not always necessary, but once we go deeper into details, I think it's something that we need to do. I think we have to give them access to the machines. That would not be any problem. Sure. And train the people on the specifics of those processes, because those are challenging processes. That's why Boeing is also very much into that, because they really want to make sure that the process is going to be okay. They will supervise us. There will be behind us looking at whatever we do, making sure that what we do is done well. So huge on quality control, as I hear you.
Yes, quality control, and being meticulous on everything that we have to do. Yes, indeed. But that's part of the job. That's part of the industry. That's part of what we do.
Absolutely.
And that's part of how we have to train the people, and otherwise we will not produce any good product.
Very exciting, very exciting. So again, very, very glad that you guys are here. So thank you.
We got.
All right, now that is all we have on the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So, second.
We have a motion and a second. Trustee Weaver?
Yes.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
And I also say yes. We are adjourned.